Hey, everybody, and welcome to the podcast, Cosmic Episode 11. I'm Vlad with everybody else here who are going to go around the horn and say hi.
Here, George.
Artie here. Welcome back.
And Keith, a.k.a. the Jaded Hat.
Welcome back, everybody. Like and subscribe. We really want to hear from you. All our hashtags are down below. This week, we're going to talk about a number of things, some stuff in the news, some sad, some good stuff as well. But obviously, we're going to touch on the death of Taylor Hawkins of the Foo Fighters at some point. And additionally, we'll go over to some more happier news. We'll talk more about Moon Knight, which is starting on Wednesday. And I know that certain people in this podcast right now are quite breathless with anticipation about it. Again with the fucking heart. Okay, so and then also we're going to talk about that deleted scene from the Batman that came out. Any other news, gentlemen, that I'm missing right now? Those are kind of the big
We'd like to
things.
touch, George and I think we'd like to touch on the Elden Ring.
Absolutely, I think, and I've started touching that
13
game as
million
well.
copies, so yeah.
Yep, we should be talking about that. And if anybody
You
else
know,
has
we
any,
sold a lot. It's really good.
Yeah.
it's a game I think you're going to try, right, Artie?
I'll be right on it.
Right.
Can you do me a favor? You try it, and I just want you to do the first hour on Twitch.
Yeah, you
or
gotta record it.
your service of choice.
Well, before he even gets on
And the
Twitch,
money
he's
will be
gonna have
donated
issues.
towards the Razor Crest Fund.
Yeah. Any proceeds from this podcast are going to go to Artie's Razor Crest Fund. He wants to get a Razor Crest for some reason.
But if he does that Twitch stream, I think he'll make more money.
Yeah, what's a Twitch stream? That's what Artie's going to ask next. What's a Twitch stream? Do you have anything to say about that, Artie?
No, you want to? Now I'm going to go on a rant a little bit here.
Oh, boy.
Before we start.
Here we go.
Oh,
so,
no.
so
You know,
That's
I used to
surprising.
really enjoy that the Xbox allowed you to do the videos, right? You had the little camera, you could do the videos, and I could just upload them directly to YouTube. Then I would stream and I'd make really enjoyable content. You know, everybody really enjoys the Iliopolis XD content I used to do.
everybody? Who's everybody?
I don't know. There's a couple people. Thank you, George. See, nice human being. Nice people with this podcast. Keith, are you doing your Joe Biden impression?
Yeah, lots of coughing.
But I really enjoyed that. Somehow we have to get to streaming together.
Why?
Why not? Because we're all video
No,
game
the only
players.
way I'm going to stream with you is if we stream a game that you haven't played.
What? I've played everything. I play everything that comes out.
Mm-hmm.
No, but anyway, I was just going to say, I don't know why Xbox took that utility away. That
Because of you, because they realized you were hogging the market.
was really the worst
With your videos.
content ever created.
You didn't like Mixer? You weren't on it all the time,
Oh.
24/7.
You know, what I loved was, I'd go to his channel and it would be him talking about Destiny, not Destiny, Destiny. It's Destiny, guys. Iliopolis XD here, right? With a Destiny content video. And he would talk about the state of Destiny. And once in a while, when he was in a shitty mood, he would how shall I say? He'd start playing COD and get really pissed and start yelling at people and ranting. And then if you were lucky, you would get unboxing videos once in a while. Those were those golden nuggets that would come out of nowhere. And all of a sudden he'd be like, look at my guns, look at my figures. Did you ever do an unboxing video of your sneakers? Because that would be fun. Because
Right,
I'd
that's
really...
what I'm going to do next week for the podcast. If we get 10 viewers, I'll make sure to do it. All right, let's go. Let's go. Got good subjects. What are we starting with today?
We'll start with Moon Knight. I'll let anybody who wants to talk about the stuff that's dropped this week. There's been, from my understanding, there's been a couple of more commercials. There's been some behind the scenes stuff. There's been some, interviews with the actors and stuff. So I'm going to open it up to everybody to see what they have to say about it.
It's some of the clips that they've been releasing have been touching on different aspects of the show. So it's kind of been like, last week we had the contact one. So it kind of played up to the psychological aspects. Then we had like a little action-oriented one this week. So I just like how it's touching on different things as it's building up to this show. And a lot of the interviews with the cast has been interesting. Like, I don't know if you saw Ethan Hawke. He said once he was pitched that it was Marvel, he didn't read the script.
It's awesome.
And that says a lot. I mean, that says the cachet of Marvel at this point, where you could bring a talented actor like him unseen. So I'm curious. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting, especially after reading that shitstorm that's Morbius. So
I was thinking about, we're gonna have to talk about Mobius.
we have to.
But let me ask you guys, did they do a premiere this week or something? Because I saw a really amazing cosplay of a kid on a red carpet.
Kevin Feige.
That was fake?
Yeah, Feige. Kevin Feige was posing
I
with
saw
him.
him there too, yeah.
I'm mispronouncing his name, right?
I can't believe how good
Feige, isn't it? Isn't it
that
Feige?
little kid's costume was.
Sorry.
Anyway, that was the ultimate in cuteness. And I'm super excited for the show. And it seems like Marvel made a deliberate investment kind of going into it over the last maybe 4 weeks of kind of nonstop dropping.
Well, it's pushing. It's got to push
really,
it.
and it seems like everybody's excited about it. Like watching the stuff that George was talking about, these little snippet videos that are really thematically driven, like Contact, the one where it showed the magic, Ethan Hawke's
There's skills. There was one about skills.
Different
There's one
aspects
about
of the characters and stuff. And then the action and the kind of the banter as they're chased around, I guess, the Egyptian, excavation place that they were doing.
That's a good point that you brought up, the Egyptian thing. I don't know if you saw there was an article from the director of Moon Knight, who is actually Egyptian. And he was kind of critical about the depiction of Egypt in a lot of different movies and Hollywood movies. And the one that I think he pointed out was a Wonder Woman 84, which was, he said it was a travesty and stuff. But again, it's great that the representation is there, that they're trying to make it, they're trying to make it authentic enough as it is. I think it's.
I think that's a little funny to me. So let me just. We got to touch on that for a second since you brought it up. I agree 100% with the representation piece, 100%.
Okay.
But it's not like the main actor is Egyptian. Ethan Hawke is Egyptian.
Well, but the characters aren't Egyptian.
It's the culture.
It's a depiction of the culture.
Of the culture.
Like Wonder Woman.
I hope so. I don't know. I don't know much about.
It looked like it was just like a blank desert with poor people, which is not the case.
One day when they decide to make a Greek Marvel hero like Hercules, don't you think you'd want, or you would say, Heracles, right?
Well, number one, if they do anything with the Greeks, it's going to be the greatest movie of all time.
Wasn't that 300? They already did a comic book movie about the Greeks.
The Spartans. Just to go back to that, though, I remember, what was it? It was Daredevil. The Daredevil movie with Ben Affleck.
And Elizabeth with what's her name?
Jennifer Garner.
Jennifer Garner is Elektra, and her and her dad are in the car and they're talking Greek.
That threw me off completely.
Because it wasn't even Greek. They're just like, and I mean, how do you feel about that as a Greek?
How do I feel about that?
Oh, here we go. Wait. Go ahead. Take a drink.
How do you feel?
That's insulting. That is insulting to the greatest culture on
So why would that be funny?
So I think that applies to his point.
No, but what I'm getting is, do you think that he specifically called out, I think, Black Adam, right?
No, he called out Wonder Woman specifically.
Oh, okay, I thought he specifically
Wonder Woman 84 because he said Morocco. It was supposed to be somewhere I forget where in Egypt he said specifically, but it was Cairo. It was supposed to be Cairo, and they were substituting Spain, Morocco, all these other places, and you had sheiks, you had all these things that have nothing to do with Egyptian culture.
Yeah, you got to get it right.
You got to get it right. No, you do. You do.
As long as, but when I first heard it, I thought he was really chiming in on the Black Adam, kind of not representing Egypt. But maybe
no. He's talking. They're fake. Instead of they're using the Egyptian culture, but then they're making it some made up land.
Yeah.
But you can't. Again. Let's talk about that for a second, because a lot of things are made up in DCU, right? DCU, Gotham City is not a real city.
I don't mind that, but I mind it if somebody's
not a real city, and sometimes
I don't mind
New York for that.
I don't mind that. That's something I don't mind.
But how's that different than what's the name of the place that Black Adam is that from? Kondak or
Kansastock or whatever.
It's some made up place. I'm 100% in agreement. If you're going to do something in Egypt, you should represent the culture correctly. If you're going to do it with any culture,
Right.
You're going to try and represent it as respectfully and accurately as possible.
I think he was also complaining about the fact that Black Adam doesn't have pointy ears too.
Oh, well, that's a problem.
It is.
He's always depicted with pointy ears. We got to at least do something about that.
You tell The Rock to do that. Go back and put it in there. They'll CGI. They'll CGI his ears back
But
in like
Moon
they
Knight,
got
I'm
rid of
very
Henry Cavill's
excited for
mustache.
it. Do we know if they're dropping a single episode or multiple episodes?
Just a single episode right now.
I'm so down. I'll be up at 3 a.m.
Good
Ready to
for
go.
you. Yeah.
Good for you.
Nobody
You're not
spoiled.
going to be ready to watch it, Vlad? You're not going to be up?
Oh, of course I'm going to watch it.
Well, I'm going to call you at 3 and
Okay, I'm going to watch it. I will watch it. Don't worry.
Yeah, just let it. Just let's. Why isn't it out already?
I agree.
Yeah, guys, I'm
Build it,
tempering
build
my
it, man. Come on, just
expectations.
give me-
Here's
Was
the
that
thing.
excitement from you?
That was
Yeah.
excitement. Wait.
Be careful your heart.
I know. Yeah.
Exactly right.
We need to do a Moon Knight drawing this week.
Yeah, did you
Oh,
do
that's
the
a good
Papa
idea.
drawing last week?
I didn't do any drawing this week. I've been
So you
really
still got a
adamant.
Papa drawing. You owe me a Papa drawing. But back
Oh.
to this thing. The credibility of the show. First of all, I've seen reviews. People, the critics have reviewed 4 out of the 6 episodes already. They've been given,
Oh, wow.
and everybody's been giving it. You know, they've been really excited about it. They're saying like it's crazy good. It's like completely different. Let's see. There's the hype. Then you have to go into it again. And the problem is right now, we have to wait weekly to see what's going to happen and see where the story goes and how it plays out. You know,
That's weekly content for us.
That
That's
is
right.
weekly content. For
That's
us.
6 weeks of content.
Love it.
I like
So-
that it's on new ground for the Marvel stuff. So
Yes, it is. And I thought I read somewhere that they said that it was specifically a limited series, well, a 1 season, but they're saying they're setting something up bigger,
Yeah.
which I think it's Midnight Suns. That's what everybody's
So that's
thinking.
what Oscar Isaacs is hoping for.
Right.
And
So
don't
we'll see
forget, we
what-
get Werewolf by Night Halloween special coming up. So
There was some news about the Guardians Christmas special coming up too. I didn't see the
I
details.
thought they
but
pushed that back another year.
no, it's being filmed at the same time as the third
Movie.
installment. So
Okay.
Right.
Get everybody together.
Oh,
I guess.
actually, before we do jump over to the Joker scene, we should
Morbius.
talk about. We should talk. We need to talk about Morbius. We need to talk about Halo
Hmm.
because that's something else that really dropped.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
That's
I've
weekly,
also-
right?
That's
oh, and
re-
did you hear that news about the what's the name of the actor in Halo? Pablo
Schreiber, who's
What,
Liev Schreiber's.
Wolverine? Don't. I hope not.
Yeah.
What?
He says that he had initial talks with Marvel regarding Wolverine with him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't know if he said that or if that was just some.
I don't know. I'll reserve, and even if they go that route, I'll reserve my
You know who my sleeper pick for Wolverine is?
who.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Go for it.
You're a mutant, Harry. Great. That's
He's the
exactly
Swiss Army
what we
man
need, right?
first.
Huh?
Wasn't he the Swiss Army man?
He was.
Yep. Guns Akimbo.
Guns Akimbo was
The
fun,
Lady in
actually.
Black. Didn't he do?
I gotta
the-
watch that. It was fun.
It was dumb. It was dumb.
It was dumb fun.
It was
It's like
dumb fun.
Con Air type
Yeah.
fun.
So who here saw Halo? I saw Halo. I mean,
I
it
watched
was.
It was all right.
It's.
The thing is, it's not canon. It's not really a part of any of the real. It's not tied to them.
It's
Right.
not.
Not really.
Not really. They have their broad strokes, and then they're going all over the place. And
No.
you know, and spoiler alert, he takes off his helmet in the first episode.
Yeah, like they
So-
couldn't wait to do that.
They
Like,
couldn't wait to do it. Now it's sort of like he's gone rogue.
yeah,
It's sort of like it's becoming like it's where's this going and what's going to happen, and it's. Look, there are some cool scenes, but I also think that it's trying to be graphic for the sake of being graphic
Yeah.
because there's some like really violent deaths.
It
You know, the
is-
Covenant looked good.
yeah.
They actually
the
look
effects
really.
were okay. The effects were
I have
okay.
a
They were.
question.
They,
For those of you who really played the Halo games, if it's not tied to any of the lore, like really deeply invested, I think that's what the fans would really like.
Yeah.
correct.
No, that's the main drawback to this. That's why
Yeah.
people are.
Then it's not a Halo show. It's Halo and name.
Well,
only.
the problem that I have with it, other than the fact that it's, I mean, I don't mind it. You know, I was excited to see the ship show up and Master Chief show up. I was expecting it to be more of a Daha moment, like a real powerful moment where he shows up. I
Yeah.
didn't want to see other Spartans around with him. I just wanted it to be him, sort of like, because that, they do what they do what I felt was really kind of the nods were to the game. Like there's a first person
Yeah.
perspective.
Mhm.
You hear the noise of the boom of the shields. You hear all these things that kind of work. You see the weapons that make sense. The weapons that
Battle rifle.
yeah, the battle rifle, the pistol,
Mhm.
all these things are there. The sword is there. The sword actually does some horrible damage to
Yeah,
people
no,
in this.
very cool.
But the blood effects were kind of up in the air at certain points. Like, but it's am I gonna watch it? Sure, I'll watch it. I mean do I think it's gonna be great television? No, by any stretch of the imagination.
But
I
it
don't.
isn't even good.
Mm,
Like,
I mean, define good.
is it a show you would want to watch if it wasn't Halo? Like,
Would I recommend it? No.
It doesn't sound like. But here, you know what my question is though.
Would you watch it if it's on and there's nothing else? Sure.
It's interesting though how like a few years ago, like there was this like a lot of like that Halo clip from Neil Blomkamp,
Yeah.
Mhm.
right? And how and they couldn't get that off the ground, and this is what it's resorting to. It's kind of just like
Yeah. No,
like
I mean, it's become. I mean,
because like wasn't there like some big names attached to a possible Halo movie?
Initially, there were. I thought
Right.
Spielberg was attached at one point
I thought he was attached to this actually.
as an executive producer, I believe.
Yeah,
Yes, but I
yeah.
thought there was something else that's Blomkamp was supposed to direct it.
Right.
Something happened.
But
I'm
there's
not
something
crazy
else.
about the Pablo character. I don't like,
Is he the? Is he's Master Chief?
he's
Pablo?
Master Chief. He's Master
Yeah,
Chief.
he would not make a good Wolverine. I don't think.
yeah,
Uh,
to me, again, I didn't watch it. I have no interest in watching it. I was initially excited when I heard about it to think of, all right, this could be a really interesting action-oriented sci-fi
Right.
show. I know very little of the game lore, but I know there is a lot of lore in it, meaning there are dedicated
yeah.
channels that discuss the lore and this and that. It sounds very interesting. And for them not to invest in any of that is like
Yeah,
all
it's a
these other
problem.
shows based on comic book characters or, not even just Marvel and DC or games or anything where they just take the game and then they bastardize it to cobble a show together.
Well, as someone who hasn't seen it, you probably could watch it now because it
You
doesn't
could.
matter really.
Do you have
No, but
Paramount Plus?
but that's not so. Like I was saying, the things that get me excited for a show like this is that it has established 20 or 13 years of lore.
It's
That's
20
It's
what
not
I'm
like
saying.
they throw that all out. I mean,
They-
it's-
But the thing is, if
yeah.
you don't know the lore of the game,
Yeah, if you
you
don't
could probably
know,
watch the show.
yeah.
you could.
You're
And
not invested
honestly,
in it, you've never played.
right. And
I
here's the
can't.
thing. For me, I've played the game. I played the first three, started the fourth. Once Bungie got out of it and Microsoft took over completely, I really didn't care about 4 or 5 or any
No,
of the other
4 and
ones.
5.
For
The new one
me,
was really good.
which one?
The
the
new
new-
one.
I
The
enjoyed
new one.
the
But
new
in terms of story, I liked the original. I still love the first game the best. Even the gameplay in the second one is better.
Mhm.
But I love the first game. It's a generic sci-fi story. It's fun. You're invested in Master Chief and Cortana. Those are the two characters you're really invested. At least I was. So you want to see those characters done right. For me, I don't care what they do with the rest of the story, as long as those two characters are handled with the care that they should be cared. Because I'm not that invested in the lore of it.
Mhm.
It is what it is. I don't know. I mean, I'll watch it. It's something else to watch. I mean, I'm watching the other show I'm watching on Paramount Plus. I meant to tell you guys, but we didn't touch on it last week. Is that I have caught up on Star Trek Picard, so I'm watching Picard.
I heard second season's pretty good.
It's pretty good. They're kind of doing the voyage home. They're doing the voyage home type of thing. It's time travel back to the 21st century this time. It's sort of the team building up. This time they have the Borg Queen with them, so it's enemies working together to time travel back in time. It's interesting what they're trying to do. It's kind of up in the air. You could tell that they're lo-fiing the tech because there's a Q's in it, so obviously Q's
I
playing
thought
a
that
role.
scene was really good with Q. That was
Which one?
probably. I just watched a snippet of it where he first appears and they de-aged him.
They
And he's
de-age
like, "Oh,
him
you're
and stuff
old,
like
here,
that. Yeah,
I'll-"
It's actually a fun. It's fun. it's throwback to Voyage Home. It's really their new version of Voyage Home, and there's some nods to it and stuff like that. So I'm enjoying. I didn't think I would enjoy it. You know, I'm not a big fan of Discovery. I'm really not. I think we talked about it a few episodes back in terms of like even Strange New Worlds. You know, as excited as I was, I really enjoyed Discovery, especially in the second season when they brought Pike back in number one and young Spock. But I gotta tell you, and again, it goes back to now. I don't want to be the one ranting, but again, my problem is, do you really need to go down these roads and sort of, you know, you find out that what's her name is Spock's sister, quote unquote, and how does he never mention that he has a human sister, you know, an adopted sister? But the Pike story is interesting. Now they're going to do the new one, and now they're going to bring Kirk in Strange New Worlds in the second season. I'm just like, again, why are we going? Why do we have to go back to these
It was
wells?
interesting that I saw like the William Shatner kind of co-signed the actor. I saw like a little like blurb about that hit my feed, but then I saw the picture of the actor, and I was just like, okay.
Was it Variety?
It might have been. It might have been.
Did you top fan comment? Did you top fan comment?
I didn't comment.
What the hell is that all about?
Hey guys, we would have seen it, right? It would have come up on our feed that he commented.
I don't like to comment when I just have negative things to say. So
no, you've said some nice things.
I looked at this actor and I said,
"Did you go like you did about Black Cat?"
No, it's just there's nothing charismatic. There's nothing interesting.
Nothing Kirk-like.
Nothing Kirk-like. Exactly, you nailed it. So I look at that and go, again, this is another scenario where they're doing something just to do it. It adds nothing to anything, and I don't know who would watch it.
Hey Artie, what kind of a scenario was it? Was it a no-win scenario?
Has anyone seen Prodigy? Star Trek Prodigy?
No, I've not.
I'm just not a big Star Trek fan I don't know, like I enjoyed the original series. I like new Next Generation more than I did the original series. I enjoyed Deep Space Nine, but then after that, it was just kind of like I feel like it was oversaturated.
I didn't stick with Voyager myself. So.
What did you guys think of the? I mean, I know that this is going to be an anathema question. Did you find any redeeming qualities with the J.J. Abrams movies?
No.
I liked the first movie a lot. I thought the first movie was a lot of fun. Was it Star Trek? No, it wasn't like a cerebral type of
Star
movie.
Wars. It was Star Wars.
Right.
If you had
the main cast is really good.
Especially Bones. Bones. I think
Carl
Bones is
Carl
Urban is great.
Carl Urban should be like one of the biggest stars on this fucking planet right now.
Carl Urban. I mean, between Bones and Bones and I'm not even going about the boys.
Yeah,
Bones and
fantastic.
Dread.
Fucking.
That's what I'm talking about. He doesn't even have to show his face, and he was fucking Dread.
And he kept the helmet on the whole time. He's the Shax of fucking comic book world.
But the thing is, like the Stallone Dread, he took his helmet off every 5 seconds.
Yeah, who designed the Stallone Dread costume? Johnny Versace. It's designed. The fact that you're actually putting that in the fucking credits, it's like Versace created it's like, really?
You know something? Talking about Dread, like we need to do underrated fucking movies, and that's like a movie we need.
Was it underrated though? I mean, I thought it was.
Whoa! It was underrated.
Was it?
It did not make any money in the box office. It kind of just like
I don't know why. I'm in denial then.
I saw it opening day, and I loved that movie.
I loved it.
I loved that movie.
Memorable in tremendous ways.
Did you see it?
Wait.
You didn't like it?
Wait.
And it's not memorable to me. There's nothing to it. It's what was it? What was the point of the movie? What was
it was the euphoria of comic book.
What did it add? Even to the comic book? The comic book has a long pedigree.
It was true to the comic.
In what way?
Every way?
In every way, it presented the character as true to the comic as possible.
All right, let me go back to Star Trek for a second. Did you?
Okay.
No. I want to hear more of your stupid opinion about Dread, please, because I'm curious.
I didn't think anything of it. I watched it. I don't know if I saw it on cable or if I saw it in the movies. I'm trying to remember.
It's okay. We don't need to waste spin cycles on it.
Okay. And the J.J. Abrams Star Trek movies to me are just, I guess, very flashy, overdone attempts at science fiction in the most general sense. It's flashy. Hollywood takes a genre franchise and tries to reinterpret it for modern times and just doesn't have the heart of it and misses the point all completely.
You didn't find anything redeeming about him? I'm just trying.
It was a fun popcorn flick. I guess.
All of them?
Yes.
Honestly,
No, the first one.
Just the first one. The second one was bad.
this first
With
one I
the
enjoyed.
reverse Wrath of Khan ending type of thing.
Oh, that was shit. That was shit.
But I don't know how
The
you guys
third
roll
one,
into everything is great. You guys have this thing where even if you like something a little bit, it's great.
Who said it was great?
Who said it was great?
Oh, no. Dredd was great.
Dredd was a
great.
good. It was an underrated
It was
movie.
a top 10 sci-fi.
No, no one
comic
said
book
top
movie.
10
Where
sci-fi.
do you get
It's
this stupid shit from? I mean, do you just like fish for like stupidity and just
Wait
I
a
just don't know
second.
What's great about it? Like, what is authentically great? About
his
the
costume, Anderson, the whole idea that the entire
he
movie
played
takes place
Dredd.
it takes place in one fucking building.
movie? Right.
It's
Where have we seen that before?
The
Wait a
raid.
sec- but with the raid,
Oh.
but so what? But it was still well done.
No, I loved it. I love that
The
they took.
action was fine, and it was like I said, the action was fine. I enjoyed it. But what was
Well, I
great
think
about it?
What was great about it was the action, the acting. He was good as Dredd. The fact that he was able to be Dredd without having to take off his helmet, and he pulls off what Dredd should be like. Again, it's a small film, but it works. I don't understand why you think it's shit.
I don't see how it's great.
We said it was
kind
an
of like to say something
underrated
great is to
film.
Give it.
It's an underrated film. I'm not saying it's the best comic book film of all time. It's an underrated film. It does a better job. It does a better job of depicting Dredd than fucking Stallone's did. I'm sorry, Rob. Did you like
It
Stallone's
seems
version?
like Dredd. If I'm thinking about it correctly, very
Probably not.
small movie. It's. I guess it's.
Okay,
really
it's a small movie.
one-dimensional.
Does it have to be? Does it have to be a
No,
Marvel
it
movie or a
doesn't. It
spectacle?
doesn't have to be.
No, it needed to be part of a trilogy of impactful magnitude with world-ending complications, so that way it could be worthy of.
But what happened? Why didn't it get other movies for some reason? And that's not, I'm not saying it's bad and it didn't deserve them.
Because it
saying,
didn't
do you
make
know
money.
why?
It
What
didn't make
happened
money.
that-
Look, it's not the first movie, and we can go down this road about a bunch of movies. Don't get me started about Big Trouble in Little China, because Big Trouble in Little China is one of the
Pilgrim
big,
versus the World.
right? Scott
Oh,
Pilgrim,
it was-
The Edgar Wright is made.
right?
Okay. I'm just wondering if there were other movies set up to expand.
There was potential. There was discussions about it, and then later on there was a discussion about a mega
He's just
city.
looking at you with disgust. It's unbelievable.
A mega city. there
Face
was-
right now. He can't even enable you right now. That's how
No,
disgusting.
I won't. I think I mean, I understand him thinking it's not great.
Look at his
that's
face.
Fine, but,
Just look at his face. Just look at his
but
face.
certainly,
right now.
I don't see the. Well, I mean, no, that's fine. He didn't like it. I don't.
Is it that you didn't like it, or is it that
No,
you
it's
just?
not. I don't.
You have a
why
problem with
it's
it being called great?
A pedestal footnote by you guys to say we really need to talk.
No, you
about
see,
this.
what you're doing is you're taking somebody saying that it's an underrated movie with a really great actor, and then you think, oh, we're thinking it's up there with Endgame, and I don't know what you're just like trying to create some kind of argument in your head, and that's not entirely what we're
So
saying.
when you decide, whatever podcast that you're going to discuss the beauty and the power and the magnitude of Brain Smasher: A Love Story, I'm going to shit all over you, and I'm going to say, what the fuck
Everybody
are you?
hates it. I understand.
But you
it's
love
a
it.
Stupid movie,
You
that's
love
why.
it. You love that movie.
But I don't.
Would you say it's great?
I wouldn't say it's great.
Yes, you would.
I would say I think it's great.
That's and George said that the movie's underrated. That's all he said. And I
That's
agree
enough to
with
set
him.
him
And
off,
Keith likes the
apparently.
movie too. It's a
I
good
like
movie.
it a lot.
I
think
like
it's
it a
of fun.
lot. It's a good movie. It was a surprising movie for what it was. And some of those best movies, those nuggets, those diamonds in a rough, that all of a sudden you're not expecting it to be what it is. You're like, wow, they really did a number on this.
No, I
They
like
did
the
a good number.
performances. The look of it was really good. They nailed the feel of like the Judge Dredd universe.
We'll watch it again.
Right. The one the one that you guys are going to shit on me about that I actually enjoyed recently was Resident Evil: Welcome to Raccoon City. At least
I
want
parts
to see
of
it.
What is that on?
It's on streaming. You should be able to rent it now. But
Oh,
it's
cool.
as a person who's played the games, especially the first and the second game,
Mhm.
they actually really honor a lot of the
Is
characters.
Barry in it?
Who?
Barry.
Barry's not in it.
Oh, so you can't say the master of unlocking.
I know.
Right. No, but you know, you have Chris Redfield, you have Claire,
Right.
you have Jill Valentine, you have Wexler, you have Leon Kennedy. So they're
cool.
melding. They meld the game 1 and 2. So they have the police station, they have the mansion, they have all these things, and obviously even the outfits. And so there's some really cool things.
You know what that reminds me of?
Live action?
It's live action, yeah. And it's actually, they set up a sequel. The third, look, it's not by any means,
Nemesis
not great.
That's the villain, right? The big guy.
well,
What's
it's
the big
a little
guy's name?
different. Yeah, Mr. X, but then what is there Mr. X? What is
No,
it?
it's not. It's
No,
Nemesis.
Nemesis.
or something.
Nemesis, but he's
Nemesis.
called
Or
something. But
It starts with a T.
Tyrant. Tyrant is
Tyrant.
it's the tyrant. It's the tyrant in the first game, right?
Yeah, he was really scary. In
They have
game.
the
I remember
liquors,
when
they
he
have the
showed up, he was
liquors.
trying to get away. Like,
Oh yeah.
So there's parts of it that make as a fan of the game, you're like, okay, this is kind of cool.
So that was the first game I bought on PS1.
That's
All
the
right, so
last
speaking
game
of
you played
horror
other
films,
than
what
Destiny.
Morbius? No.
Oh, Morbius. Well, okay,
Before we get into that, Vlad's talking about Resident Evil reminded me of the Silent Hill movie.
Oh God,
That was the first one was really good, I thought.
I don't remember.
The first one was interesting. I remember it had some, I think, legitimately scary scenes.
It was really well done. It had a really cool atmosphere to it.
Who was in it?
Oh,
was, what's her name?
Rhoda Mitchell.
But there was
Rhoda
also the male actor, her husband.
Sean
Tom-
Bean.
Yeah,
it Sean Bean?
was in it.
Sean
I
Bean.
couldn't believe that. That's right.
Sean Bean, right?
It was fun. I thought it captured the atmosphere of the
Did
game.
they do
so
2 movies or no?
The
Only
second
one.
Wait a second.
The second one wasn't good.
Yeah.
The second one was really bad.
But the first one was fun.
Right, and then I'm trying to think of So
Horror movies, Morbius.
oh God, guys, that's gonna be a shit show.
So are
I'm
any of
sorry.
you guys going to see it? I will see
Fuck
it. if it's
no.
Available.
Are you crazy? The next movie I'm gonna go see is
No, not
Multiverse
to
of
go
Madness.
see it. Like, will you see it eventually? Like,
Oh, I'll see
yeah.
it. I'll see it when it's free.
Yeah,
Sure.
we're streaming.
when it's
I'm looking
rentable,
forward
I'll
to
rent
getting
it.
into it.
When
But
it's
Do you think it's
mean-
going to be on Disney Plus or no? It's just a Sony.
No, it's Sony.
It's Sony,
Usual
so
Spider-Man, which pisses me off, but
you'll be able to get rent Spider-Man next week or in a couple of weeks.
or in 2 weeks. So I'm excited about that. But I'm look.
Can't wait to see it.
I know Morbius is not going to be very good. I just have a feeling, just looking at it.
Do you have a feeling?
Yeah.
The reviews are already coming out. They're
Yeah,
saying
I
it's
saw
shit.
some, like
The thing that kills me is the director, not
Yeah.
even the multiverse thing. Reading that regarding the Vulture just made me realize, like I knew the movie was going to be bad from the trailers, but like such a misunderstanding about everything. It was just like, this guy's a fucking idiot, and I have nothing.
Right. So
Well,
for
the script
clarification,
is a Bible, so that's his first mistake.
for clarifications, can we George, do you want to talk about what the director said?
So there's a scene where the Vulture, Michael Keaton, is in it, and everyone's assumed that he was a variant for that,
Universe.
that multiverse. And the director has come out and said, no, it's the one from Homecoming. They're just able to move from multiverse to multiverse as established with Venom appearing in No Way Home.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's like
You need to watch the movies.
well, this is
That's
what
just such a fatal misunderstanding of
Fatal
anything.
misunderstanding.
It's just like,
right.
it just shows you like they don't give a shit.
And this
Anything
is where
to
they're
tie
going
into
to
Spider-Man.
yeah, and they're going to milk. This is where they're going to try to milk Craven. They're going to try to milk Madam Web, and they're going to create. This is where they're going to muddy the waters in a bad way. This is what I'm worried. This is what really bothers me.
I don't really take the Sony verse outside of like the Spider-Man MCEU partnership very seriously. Like I watch them as kind of like again, I'm going to go back to Dredd and the Abrams Star Trek movies. It's just bubblegum to watch when it's rentable on. I don't even connect them. I go, okay. I really
So
don't
you're
wanna see
basically
this.
ignoring them. Okay, but again, the problem right now is that Sony owns Star Wars, owns Spider-Man. So whether we
You
like
don't
to
think
admit,
they're behaving differently with Spider-Man Prime, for lack of a better term, and
Well,
how
they
they're
are
handling the expanded universe.
I think the
with
fuckery,
Spider-Man. They have to because Marvel has a partnership with them,
And that's
and
what I'm getting at.
Feige is
but I think the
involved with that.
fuckery is going to happen.
So
The
there's
fuck,
no fuckery involved. It's going to be like under Marvel's.
right? But I think the
But-
fuckery is going to
But their
happen to the side.
fuckery starts with Venom, with Craven, with
Yeah, but I
Morbius.
think Marvel did a smart thing, or at least Marvel and Sony agreed to do a smart thing. Like, just look at what they did with Venom in the Spider-Man movie. It's a piece of Venom. So it's going to be Marvel, when they use it in Spider-Man in the MCU, they're going to be able to do an interpretation of it that fits into that.
And
At
you think
least
it's not
I
going to be
hope.
Tom
Like, that's
Hardy?
my hope.
You don't
You
think
guys
it's
know
going
what
to?
I'm talking about, right? Like, I'm not
Right?
making that
No,
up.
no. I know what you're saying. I just think that,
So they could fuck around here and
but
give
they're
us
going to
all
fuck
these
around a
shit
lot,
things.
and they're going to muddy those waters, and that's what I'm
I don't think. I
concerned
think
about.
people are savvy enough to realize that there's a disconnect between what Sony's trying to do versus Marvel's
Right.
universe. I think that a lot of people, which is
I
why.
agree. I
But
agree.
it's just that it feels like Sony is just trying to take advantage of the popularity by just throwing out every fucking Spider-Man related thing.
Advantage of it, yeah.
And this is where I
Like,
think
do we
that-
really need to see a Madam Web movie?
No, we didn't need
And
to
the
see a
fact
Madam
that
Web.
Madam Web is Dakota Johnson.
Right. And that well, Sydney Sweeney potentially is going to be Black Cat.
Well,
Artie?
that's something that they're milking.
Artie?
Hey,
Thoughts?
listen, it's it'll be nice to see pictures. They'll probably be very tastefully done with the costume, and it'll be really artistically presented to us to enjoy.
And
as
her
fans.
acting abilities will really be out in the forefront.
Anyway,
Well, here go. Look,
I think George got it right. Just to kind of put my spin on this is, George, I think, got it right. We have a different studio that has the rights. They're trying to do everything they can do. I figure any company would do it. I almost look at their stuff as kind of just like the DCEU stuff. It's just put stuff out. We'll watch it. Maybe one will be decent.
right, but I think I may have mentioned this in the past. Like, as everybody who talks about like Into the Spider-Verse being one of the best Spider-Man movies, right? Because it was really well done and all this. My problem was
like
that
It was all right. I thought it was overrated.
I think it was overrated as well. It's a fun movie. It's a fun
Beautifully
movie, no
animated.
question.
Beautifully
Beautifully
to
done.
look at.
They're gonna do
Not just
two.
the animation, the colors, the
Yeah. They're going to
design.
do two more. They're going to do this, and it's just I feel that they're going to add on to the craziness.
But
it's
that
basi-
doesn't that also sit in its own universe? Like when
Not
I
anymore.
When I look
Not
into Spider-Verse, I go, that's its own thing. That's
Not
like-
anymore. This is the problem. Once the multiverse has been established, and now you've brought in these Spider-Men, and you took essentially what happened in Into the Spider-Verse, you brought it into No Way Home.
Yeah, but I do.
No,
think
no,
it's
Artie,
different.
wait. Let me finish. Marvel, like the Prime Universe, is not going to fuck with this that same way.
Right.
But with the minute they start taking characters, especially like the shared characters, and they're throwing them back this way, or they're going to throw them into Madam, whatever they're going to do with Morbius, and however they're going to fuck and dilute with that shit, that bothers me. Because it's
I
like,
don't
come
think
on,
it's
guys.
gonna dilute. I think it's going to be its own separate little cesspool.
It's going to be a cesspool. Here's the thing.
I don't think I think if people realize that, hey,
It's a cash
nobody
in.
from Marvel, Marvel films is involved in this, they're going to look at it through a different lens.
I wish that's the case.
I
Venom
think it's
made
more
the
often
new
than not
Venom
that's
made
the
more
mistake.
money than the first one.
I'll put it a different way.
Well, because Venom is like one of those like dopey popcorn flicks. It's like a Transformers movie.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like to me. But I put it like this. We've been reading comic books since the 70s, right? We know how to separate different universes. They've had concurrent different universes running at the same time, and you could take it or leave it. Even with DC, like DC had Justice League, JSA, Infinity Incorporated, this and that. You didn't have to read it. Elseworlds, this and that. You didn't have to take those into effect. Marvel had the Ultimate Verse, the Ultraverse, whatever
That's
it was.
true. You're right.
It had all these universes, and you go, okay, that's interesting, I guess. But if I don't like superheroes in the real world, I don't have to read that, or it doesn't have to spill over.
I think Vlad's concern is the fact that we would get it. He thinks that the movie going public won't.
They're not. They're going to make money. These movies are going to make money. Well, here's the thing. Venom, you knew Venom would make money. Morbius is not going to make money. It's not.
Well, maybe
Madam Web. Seriously, Madam Web's going to.
Movie or a series?
What, Morbius?
No, Madam Web.
They're all movies.
All movies? I don't know how they're going to sell that.
Why are you making these into movies? You're making Craven. What the fuck are you going to do with Craven? What the fuck are you going to do with Madam Web?
I don't know what they're trying to
set up apparently because Dakota Johnson and Sydney Sweeney. I mean, Madam Web is definitely not
even close to the public's eye. It's like
it's not even Spider-Woman, for Christ's sakes. It's none of that. You don't do you do a Spider-Gwen movie before you do a Madam Web movie.
Yeah, right? I don't know why they wouldn't have done Spider-Gwen. That's like,
but look. Don't get me started, please. Let's
get you started. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I just think that these are decisions where I don't understand what you're cashing in on something that is infinitely better done.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
The thing is, how many movies have made $1 billion and they've been shit? The Transformer movies.
Avatar. Sorry.
Avatar.
Oh, when is the next one coming out? Pretty soon, right?
No, they got pushed back.
People are going to see whatever the people want. As long as Marvel maintains their quality control for their shit, let whatever that be.
Right. And all I'm saying is, again,
that's it.
And I just felt like I remember, look.
Well, it's the same thing. Listen, if you look at, like, again, I'm going to go to the comics for a second. If you look at Marvel, there are so many Venom-related comics right now.
I was about to say, like, if you look at comics in general, how many shit comics are out there? So it's bound to happen into movies too.
Yeah, it's just like I see it as Sony has the rights to these characters. Like you're saying, they're cashing in. They doesn't have the consistency, the vision, the guiding hand.
Well, yes, it doesn't. And then here's the other thing. It's all about money. Because at the end of the day, if you look at the biggest money makers, right? The only movies that are, especially during the pandemic, when you go back and you look at the movies that made the most during the pandemic, they're all superhero films.
And the guy you hate the most came out and said, thank God for Marvel and DCEU movies. Your friend Jared Leto came out.
Well, again, but think about all these other movies out there. Look, again, I just looked at the box office for last week. Fast and Furious did well, but that's an established thing. There's the only things that you can look at that are like, what is it? Free Guy is something that that's not a franchise that did really well, right? Other than that, there's no other movies that are doing that type of business. Well, because Batman is at 330 right now. Spider-Man just passed 800 million. Those are your two biggest films right now. I mean,
what about Dune?
Dune made 105, but that was, people are going to argue that, or maybe more than that, but they're going to argue because it was day and date on Max plus the thing. Mm-hmm. Again, I don't want to get into the Oscars, but there's that huge, the Wall Street Journal had an article about like the 10 movies that are nominated for Best Picture compared to sort of the audience engagement in those movies, which ones are popular. Of the 10 movies, Dune is the most popular one. Everything else, nobody knows. Everybody else, and there's good movies in that list. Licorice Pizza is great. I've seen. There's a couple of other ones that I've seen.
The thing is, if with what's going on right now, I think if people are going to take the chance going into the theater, they're going to see something that's
got to be a spectacle. It's got to be a spectacle, right?
So they know that they're going to get some enjoyment out of it,
right? I think Sony's taking stuff. It's not making. Okay, Sony and Marvel made. Let's not say that. Sony and Marvel made No Way Home, but but it's Marvel.
Yeah, so Sony's name is in it,
but it's Marvel. It's Kevin Feige it's Kevin Feige's vision to do it, right? Look at Uncharted. Uncharted made money. It made about $130 million.
And then what happened?
And apparently they're saying that, it's a big hit. Okay. And it's shit. Apparently the story shit. It's derivative. It's all these things.
The thing is, it's the Tom Holland.
Well, it's that thing, right? So I don't know. I guess maybe
we need another Jumanji. I'll
Sure.
take one. I'll take one.
How
They're
come
fun.
not a Pitfall movie?
I would love that. Would be hilarious.
I would like another Jumanji movie. That I would. I think that's a good cast. They're fun. They're what is. But again, as much as I love The Rock, I think he's overexposed as well. I think Black Adam
I
is
could
going to
do
be
without seeing him for like a year.
right. I think Black Adam's going to be shit. I'm sorry.
It's because it's a DCEU.
Yeah, I
Or
do.
characters you don't care about.
You want me to tell you what I think Black Adam's going to be like? He's going to be showing you, look, I'm more badass than Superman. I'm going to show you how badass I am. And I'm going to show you I'm going to be the best thing in this movie, and the movie's going to be shit. I'm sorry. I don't believe of all the DCEU movies that are coming out, do you have any expectations for any of them that they're going to be really great?
No, but according to you guys, the Batman scene with the Joker is probably going to be the best.
I said
cinematic
DCEU.
experience.
I did not say. Okay, let's clarify here.
Again, I don't understand what you say that someone's like, "Oh, that's a pretty cool scene," and then you just.
But it's not even cool. It's pathetic. It's overdone. It's shallow. It's. I want you to think about this.
I don't want to.
Whatever you're gonna say, I'm gonna be diametrically opposed.
Art, you know,
dude, you already said you like the scene.
I do, but
Wait. It's overdone, but you like the
That's
scene.
all it is.
No.
It's liking in the
no.
But
Well,
is it?
Listen, if we go to our phones and we go down the list, it's great. It's amazing. How did they not put it in the movie? That is the most authentic Joker I've ever seen.
No one said. Wait. Stop. Bullshit. Calling bullshit right now. No one turned around and said, I quoted and I said, it's a good scene. It's very interesting, but I understand why it's not in the movie.
I respect that opinion.
Okay? That's what I said. No one turned around and said it's amazing and blew it the way you were up Keith Sass before.
Variety and complex, and he's associating it with everybody.
Right, dude, you're the master
right
of
now.
disingenuousness.
No,
The shit that comes out of your mouth.
Look.
Well, wait. What?
You ready? Can I go on?
I'm ready for the bullshit. Yeah.
So they have this scene that we're supposed to take this almost not frightening, but kind of like it's got a messed up face. It's very scary. It's very you're seeing it through this, grittiness and this and that. And he's talking, and Batman's going to him to be a fucking profiler on a fucking case.
So what's the problem? What's the problem with that?
The joke, that is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life.
What the fuck is the problem with that?
And then, of course, he cajoles the Joker to do it, but the Joker wanted to, of course, talk to him about it in the end. Because, first the Joker's kind of chiding him a little, but in the end, the Joker's like, okay, I'll do it for you. Bad.
He doesn't say, okay, I'll do it for you.
No,
He's fucking with him the whole time. He's fucking with him the whole time. And here's the thing.
Let me do it.
Vlad, right now, he's the Joker.
Hold on. This makes it interesting. If I do this, maybe people will watch the podcast. Hold on.
Thank God this is being recorded.
You're just doing it to be a dick. Okay, that's fine.
No, I just don't understand.
You don't.
The movie was
hence
good.
why.
The movie was very good. You're
Okay.
not giving us any more depth.
That's
You're
why
not-
it was
it's
deleted from the fucking movie, you
There's a
asshole.
reason
I would
for
prefer
it.
not seeing it ever.
Why?
Because we don't need it. They give us
Whoa,
the interesting
what-
Joker and release him when you're going to release him and introduce him to us.
You
and give
already-
it the due respect it
For-
deserves as
The due
one of
respect.
the
Here's the
major
thing.
Batman villain. Instead
First of
just
all, did you
throwing him in
watch?
the
Have you
side.
watched any of the
Jared
interviews with?
Leto
Have,
gave it.
have you watched any of the interviews with Matt Reeves about this?
I've only seen
The scene. So
the stuff that
sit down and let me teach you a couple
I
of
don't want to see the
things.
auteur, whatever it is. He's super smart. He's a cinephile.
He's not a cinephile. He's the fucking director of the
Yeah.
movie.
But what I mean is, he's deep into the art.
Dude, he explained. First of all, he explains that every villain is in their nascency during these movies. This is not the Joker
Did he
yet.
use the word nascency?
Yes, he does. Okay,
That's good.
look it up, misspell it as you typically do, and then we'll move on from there. Okay.
Again,
Can I finish? I let you rant on and show us your fucking molars. Stop. Okay? I'll be the first to admit, I'm glad it wasn't in the movie. And why am I glad that it wasn't in the movie? Because it would have been duplicative to what you start showing at the end with
Riddler.
the Riddler. And also, it takes away from the fact that he needed help. Do you understand? If you go back and you watch the movie, he's fucking up as Batman. He's missing, you remember the whole thing with the Penguin. The Penguin turns both to Gordon and to Batman and says, like, you guys couldn't even figure out Lorata? All these things. So he's still learning to be a detective. I think
would rather an extra scene with Colin Farrell.
No, I'm not asking what you think. Let me give you my opinion. Okay, just stop. Okay, so all I'm saying is I understand why it wasn't there. It was establishing it to me. It established two things. Obviously, that there was in year one of his existence a run-in with him, because the first line that comes out of him, a present, for me, it's almost our anniversary. I like that. I actually did like that. It looks like he's had chemical burns. That's what it looks like. He's had some sort of chemical scarring that's fucked him up. I enjoy the fact that you don't get to see him the way he's supposed to look. Okay, again, to what we've said many times, DC is never going to do a face value, Batman to Batman, Joker to Joker. They're always going to interpret it in some way, right? And that's fine. Look, we've had how many Jokers in the last 10 years or 12
15.
years, right?
15.
Okay,
Is that
so
Joaquin Phoenix?
what?
Yeah.
What about you, Joaquin Phoenix?
That's the actor.
No, it's Barry Keoghan. It's what's his name from Eternals.
Oh,
He
Drew.
played.
That's right.
Wait a minute. You kept saying, I like this actor. I like this actor.
Well,
You
I was being
fucking idiot.
facetious.
Are you being facetious now too? Because I think you're fucking with people. Keith?
something-
No, I'm not.
This is the real, I'm just glad that this is being recorded, because this is the real you, not that fake FD fan bullshit that you put up.
That's true. Everyone, this
What?
is true. So whatever
This
you
is
read.
disingenuous.
What are you saying? This is not real?
Because I have an opinion that's different than you guys.
No, you have an opinion that's different.
depending on your medium.
That's true. I was about to say you have an opinion that's different on when where you post. You're not keeping.
You have your variety personality. You have your complex personality. You have your Entertainment Tonight personality. You have,
Ta-da-da-da-da-da. Yep, that's
and
true.
then there's some other site now, some political site personality.
Don't go down there. Don't go there. Don't go there.
Which,
Don't go there.
I'm not discussing, but there's another one there. I mean, it's just like,
just to me.
I can't keep
again,
up
it
with.
falls into this.
You have like so many personalities. You're like Sybil.
No. To me, it's just falls into that bucket of.
A deleted scene that's not in the movie, so it doesn't matter.
No, I think it's more about the interpretation of the character. Like for me, that's what kind of turned me off. I didn't particularly.
How did
care
you
the way-
want the character to be interpreted?
It's not that I wanted it to be. I just was disappointed that it kind of he came off like a Heath Ledger knockoff. I
Well, the
didn't
thing
really
is,
find it
obviously,
very
trying to keep it
interesting. I just know.
Again, he's not the Joker. Everybody. I don't know if I made myself clear.
No, I got that. Like,
He's
this is
not the
just
Joker
his
yet.
Beginnings of the Joker, but even so, he still has that look of the Joker. Obviously, his hair was green, his skin was pale, his mouth was fucked up. But I mean, again, I didn't see the movie, and I'm going to be open to it. But from my initial reaction to the way that they portrayed the Joker in general, yeah, like him as being as a profile, like the Hannibal Lecter of the DC universe.
Yeah, that's what it. Yeah,
Again, I'll give it a chance, but I was not impressed when I first saw it.
okay. I think you need to watch the movie. I appreciated it because I'd seen the movie, and I understand why it wasn't put in there. But Keith, just to your point, when I was listening to you, I just realized something. I go, you aren't the only one going through it, though.
Mhm.
Yeah, you have uniquely, deeply personal struggles, and so do others. And they need your kindness, compassion, understanding too. Be good to others, even in your struggles. Yes, I'm talking to you, Keith, specifically to you.
Oh,
All have to get through all of it together. It's the only way it works. Who said
beautiful.
that?
Who wrote that? I don't know.
Who wrote that?
It's really nice.
No, but that. See, you're doing it too. We gotta get that on video. That too.
This is the bullshit, ladies and gentlemen. All three of you, two of you, how many are there out there? This is what we deal with on a daily basis. This is the stuff that is posted and told to the populace. And then we hear this. We are so happy that you're experiencing the true Artie right now. not the top fan Entertainment Tonight junkie, not John Tesh, the John Tesh of the world.
The Dante.
All right, so we did. So
What else we got?
I do want to bring up Severance.
Yeah,
I
And
haven't seen the new episode yet.
All I'm going to tell you guys is Severance is off the chain. It's really
I'm
good.
not going to get Apple Plus for it though. I want
No.
to see it. I really do want to see
Yeah,
it.
you
though.
got to see it. Apple Plus has some good stuff. I know it
I'm
has Ted
sure.
Lasso. I don't want to hear from you, Artie, about that.
no,
George knows.
I want to see Severance. It sounds very
Severance
interesting.
is amazing. It's
Is it
so.
do they play it straight like it's the real world?
Oh, it's the real world. Yeah, it's the real world. But it's what's going on, in this company and these people, and it's ratcheting up every episode, and it's like you feel the paranoia, you feel the walls sort of. I mean, George can sort of.
Is it comedy or played straight?
Definitely.
Oh, there's comedic elements, but it's really a dark show. It's
Subversive, I think, is a good word.
Subversive is a good word, and and the sense of you do. If I may be as bold to say, there's something very Kubricky about it at certain points where you feel that there's certain surreal. It feels surreal, but also you start realizing that there's twists that you do not expect. And there's a big in this last episode. There's a huge twist.
Yeah, I gotta watch it. It sounds.
It's
Had a
really good.
Lovely
It's
romance too.
right. It's really good.
literal, like in the show.
Yeah,
It's really good.
there's a romance between two very great actors, and I think it's very sweet and touching.
It's very sweet, and there's poignant stuff to it. I've always been a fan of Adam Scott.
Answer this for me. What is the show about?
The show is about a company called Lumen, and in it you have employees who have quote unquote willingly had a procedure done that basically splits their consciousness between the outside world, what they do, and then the hours that they're at work.
And they don't remember one to the other.
They don't remember
No.
one
Do they
to the
remember
other.
how they get home and in
Well,
the
no,
door?
because
They just end
everything
up in the
changed.
parking lot.
Okay.
In the elevator, when they go in
The elevator is the
there's
switch
thing
over.
that's kind
The
of-
switch over. So it's basically the ramifications of that, how far reaching it is.
How deep is it though? Do they know what they do for a living? Do they even know that?
They know they work for Lumen. They know that the company
Okay.
does this. It's a known. The severance
Company.
procedure is known.
What type
It's-
of company is Lumens?
well,
Is that not
you-
established? It's
That's
all
the
about-
thing.
it's kind of out there. So it's
I gotta watch
really
it.
good. The way
Sounds
that it's
awesome.
filmed, because you feel the desolation. It's filmed. I was looking
It
it up
looks
'cause
letterbox when I looked at the preview, like the preview.
that's
Like,
what concerns you the most. It's letterboxed. It's because you're trying to say it's cinematic.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, it's cinematic. Okay, but again, I think it's one of those shows that I did not expect to creep up on me like that, and it's
No.
like
And
really
creep is a good word too.
yeah, creep is a great word. It just feels very dystopian at times. It does. Even with the time of the year that it takes place during the winter time. They filmed it up in upstate New York, I think in Kingston. They did
Yeah.
certain things up there. So and obviously, and I hate to say this, but even from a pandemic standpoint, because there's very few actors on set.
It's very isolated.
It's very isolated, extremely isolated,
I gotta
and
catch this.
it's really good.
And,
And
do you
again,
think it's going to be a done in one series? Or?
I don't know. They haven't said anything, but I'm enjoying the hell out of it. I think it's
How many
really,
episodes are there?
right now there's 7. I think it's going to be 9. I want to say there's 9.
Yeah, I need to watch it. I'm going to watch the newer
I
episode.
gotta find a
And-
way to catch it. I'll find a way to watch
The
it.
other show that I really recommend to people, if they really want to laugh and have a good time, is I do recommend Resident Alien on Sci-Fi, which is Alan Tudyk.
Mhm.
It's based on the Dark Horse comic. I don't know if you guys ever read it. I'd never read it, but
I've
it's
never read it.
but it's basically about an alien who comes to Earth to destroy the Earth, and he ends up taking over a human's body, and he's living in this town, and it's all about the characters in there. And if you like Alan Tudyk, he was in Firefly. He's been in everything.
Rogue One?
Rogue One. He was in Rogue One. He was EV. What is it? I forgot his ED.
The robot.
AD-20?
Droid.
The droid. He was in Dodgeball. He's been, him and Nathan Fillion go way back. It's a fun show. It really
He was the
is.
John Cena stand-in for the dance sequence for Peacemaker.
He was? I did not know that.
His
Really?
wife was the choreographer.
Wow. I did not know that. So that's really cool. And that's another show that I would recommend.
Our Flag Means Death is a lot of fun.
Oh, is it done for the season?
No, I don't think not yet, but I've been enjoying it a lot.
Good. Good. Artie, are you watching anything else?
Right now, unfortunately, no. The only things that I've watched this week was Bill Maher and Real Sports.
So you're an HBO junkie.
Yeah, so I watched those. I'm almost finished with Seinfeld now. I'm in season 9.
That's the last
You
season.
almost finished with it for how many? The third time?
I don't know, so many times, but it's so effing funny, so funny. I just watched the episode where George is playing the tough guy because the girl at Elaine's job.
Oh, are you talking to me?
Yeah.
I'll drop you like a bag of dirt.
Oh my God.
Wait a second. Oh, wait, have you seen the deleted scene for that?
No,
Have you
what
seen-
is that?
You've never seen the deleted scene
I
between
may
Jerry
have, I
Stiller,
don't-
Jerry Stiller and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, where they're in the
Oh,
police
yeah,
Well,
station?
I think you've shared that before.
I've shared that with you guys.
Yeah, yeah.
That is probably one of the greatest. She just can't.
I'm dying. I'm watching. I guess I'm finishing season 8 now because I'm watching the Kenny Rogers Roasters episode.
Oh my God.
Kramer's can't
Kenny!
sleep.
So that's what I've been watching. I've been trying to get into new shows, but I found what I've done the last couple of weeks, the last 2 weeks specifically. Tried to start a show. I start it and I turn it off 5 minutes into it.
That's
I
fine.
just can't get interested. I
Like
just can't.
what? What show did you try?
I tried DMZ.
Okay.
Mhm.
Why did you give it up?
I just couldn't stay engaged.
Didn't grab you the first 5 minutes.
Was
No,
there Iron
I'm
Banner? Did
sorry.
you start playing it? Did you start watching it during Iron Banner?
I already finished my trials. So,
Of course
There
you
you
did.
So I haven't. So I've really been longing for Moon Knight to get here
Mhm.
and whatever's coming next. I'm really interested in Severance. I was when I first saw the preview.
Severance is probably my favorite
And
show of the year
I
so
really
far.
want to
New
catch
show.
it. And when is Ozark season 4? or 2 coming out?
429. 429. It's coming.
Next month.
We got. I'll be good because then it's
Do you have Peacock? Do you have
Huh?
Peacock?
no. I have Hulu.
Peacock is
HBO
free,
Max.
isn't it?
You can get it free with ads, and then you have it for 10 for I think 5. It's 5.
I don't
Oh,
know.
it's on Peacock.
Peacock's the NBC shows, so it's
Oh,
all
right.
the NBC shows. So like Sci-Fi is on there as well and stuff.
Cool.
So that has there. Apple TV though has some really good stuff. Like I know George and I, we can wax poetically about Ted Lasso, which
Yeah.
is
Apple TV's for the
really, yeah, okay.
aesthete.
No, it's not for
very,
the esthete, jackass.
bougie,
Bougie.
cultured people, not for us people on the ground.
On the ground.
Really.
All right. So what other topics do we have left to cover?
Well, I did do
Taylor
2 comic
Hawkins
reviews.
passed away.
What? Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
were talking about some. Okay, let's hear it about it. Let's hear about this.
About what?
About your comic reviews. What about them?
No, so I finally read that issue with Thanos' grandfather,
Hmm.
Uranus. I called him Kronos because I thought he was the original Kronos, but he's actually Uranus. There were 3. Come to find out, there were 3 Prime Eternals. It just was terrible. It's the first issue in a new series of the Eternals, and obviously they're playing it kind of like what was that name? Silence of the Lambs, kind of how they played it, where his grandfather, he finds out he had his grandfather and he had some ultimate weapon or something like this, an ultimate prisoner. It's just so devoid of, it's a soulless, passionless story by the numbers.
Is it based on the movie?
Badly drawn. No, it's nothing to do with any of the. It's just Thanos is in it, and basically he's being led around by Druig, and they come to an old prison that nobody knew about, and it holds the greatest. They couldn't kill him. Greatest, captive they could have. One of the Prime Eternals that went rogue, who broke one of their Prime directives, and they housed him because they couldn't kill him because he was going to do some thing where he killed everybody who didn't deserve to live, you know, survival of the fittest to the extreme. And he's like war incarnate, except he looks really bad. And they don't, it's just the people who did this comic. This is Marvel Comics. They never read an Eternals comic, right? They don't understand what the Eternals are supposed to be, even taking into effect the new Marvel lore on it based on the movie. It's like they only put that at a very high level. So he's designed, he looks like a monster. The Eternals do not look like monsters. The whole reason about the Eternals is they look perfect. You know, they're engineered to be effing perfect. They don't look like the Deviants. He's not supposed to look like that. He was never corrupted. He was never this. He was never that. There's no reason for him to look like a giant, like Thanos. So there's that. And then and then of course, like I said last week, and just talking about how he was introduced, you know, he's more deadly and dangerous than Thanos and this and that. So it was just terrible. I wouldn't recommend it.
I feel bad. I feel bad that you know you didn't enjoy it. You know,
the thing is,
because no. Let me tell you, because I think that whatever it is that gives you joy, don't waste time. Enjoy it.
You're an evil bastard. Yeah, I don't do that with you guys. With you guys,
no,
honestly,
you lie through your fucking teeth.
What did I lie about?
You
I didn't
flip
like the
more
comic.
than a goddamn flapjack, dude.
I didn't like the comic.
We just had an argument about the Joker deleted scene. First of all, you're thinking that we said it was the greatest scene ever put on cellular.
The way everybody's carrying on about it, and you know, you had a quote, and then you went back to quote, you know, the words of the producer or the director, you know, who had some high-minded vision for all of this. You know, he's really thinking it out. He's got levels. There's levels to this, Jerry. You know. So then I read.
Oh, okay.
Reckoning.
Oh, wow, that's Whiplash.
Shifting gears.
No,
Shift
this is
gears.
Vlad brought it up.
Comic.
Whiplash.
No, Reckoning War, the trial of the Watcher, #1. So I don't know what the Reckoning War is. I don't care. Nobody should care. It's going to be a valueless comic book.
You don't think it's going to come up in the movies?
Maybe. Who knows? Anyway, but it was a really good kind of what if. Basically, the other the Watchers capture the. Look, Vlad's very interested.
Yeah. Because I read your review. I know what you're saying.
Okay, so then all I know is go buy it. It was a well done. If you like comics of the 70s and 80s, you should enjoy it. It's actually a fun what if comic. If you take out the Reckoning War part of it, it's really fun. Basically, they relook at issues 48 through 50, the first appearance of the first encounter with Galactus and Silver Surfer. And they do a really good job of it. It's a lot of fun. Goes in a different direction, but it's really good.
Cool.
So it gave you the energy, gave you the inspiration to push through.
Oh,
You have these written down on a pad somewhere, Vlad?
I know these by heart.
So inspiring were they?
So what else were we talking about today? I know we were going to talk about that music news, right, George?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we have anything we want to talk about.
I mean, we could just, we touch on it and then we could end on a happy note.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's hot off the presses. I don't know. Well, everybody may or not know, but Taylor Hawkins, the drummer of the Foo Fighters, unfortunately passed away last night or yesterday. We don't know what time, but it was announced late last night, 11 p.m. Eastern time. Of the Foo Fighters, he was 50 years old, and it's a pretty devastating loss. I mean, I'm a pretty big Foo Fighters fan. I've seen them many times. You know, my wife and I, the first concert we ever went to was a Foo Fighters concert together, and they're part of my sort of fabric of, you know, they're one of my favorite bands. It's devastating. Too young. They were on tour. They were in Colombia, and they were supposed to be playing. A festival that night, and he was found unresponsive in his hotel room. And more news came out today, potentially, that it's drug related, which is horrible. And I feel bad for Dave Grohl. I feel bad. Let's be honest. We feel bad across the board. I feel bad, but for Dave specifically, he was the drummer in Nirvana when they lost, and he lost his front man. Then he goes on to become the front man to his band, and and arguably one of his best friends, and now he dies.
Mhm.
I personally think, this is, I know it's too soon, but I think this is devastating to the point where I actually can believe, and I would justify it, that the band stops playing. I mean, I think
Obviously, they canceled their tour from here.
they've canceled. Well, they were supposed to play Lollapalooza Brazil tomorrow night. I don't think that's going to happen. And he's a beloved artist. I mean, when you think about the Foo Fighters, you think of obviously Dave Grohl, but Taylor Hawkins is right there behind him. And and Taylor had big shoes to fill, because for everybody knows that Dave Grohl is a drummer, and he's a damn good drummer at that. And Taylor Hawkins had to come in and kind of become the drummer of the Foo Fighters, and he's equally talented in his own way. And it's huge. I think it's one of those things where you don't want to see your heroes go like that. I mean, and you don't want that. And it's been a sad day. It's been, and there's stuff that out there. I mean, you can find tons of videos and stuff. Especially, I know that they just played a show in Chile a couple of days ago, and that's all up there, so you can actually see Taylor's last performance. And it's fucking devastating. It is. It kept me up a lot last night. I'm not gonna lie, I cried a little bit about it, and it's sad. George, I don't know what you want.
Especially with like you see like his personality came through like in the interviews. You could see he was someone that loved music. Like how many bands was he in? Because being with the Foo Fighters for 25 years, and he still has 3 or 4 side projects. That's somebody that loved rock, and 50's too young.
His 50's too young.
Way too young. Way too
young, and it's sad, because you're starting to see. It's hard. It's really and I just feel like we'd be remiss not to address it, and know that, at least for some of us, it's pretty it's pretty painful.
Especially since we talked about the movie last week.
Right, and it's ironic. Yesterday, George, you sent it to me, but it was like George sends me the email, the text in the morning about the soundtrack to Studio 666, which is the Dirty Widow album. That's the metal album that Dave Grohl and the Foos put out. They put that out in the morning, and then all of a sudden this news comes out at night, and it's just fucking devastating. It's like
it went from like a super high of the album being dropped to this news.
It just brings things back in a big way, and it's rest in peace. That's all I can say.
It's rough.
So with that, let's try to end on a positive note. What do we have to look forward to, Keith?
Elden Ring.
Yes, there we go. Let's talk Elden Ring.
From sad note to a sad game.
Or I like to say, Elden Souls. But
there it is.
Sad. It's not. This one is not really a cheerful, happy note. This is a brutal game. Ridiculously brutal, beautiful and horrible at the same time. Designs are phenomenal. The landscapes and the areas are gorgeous. I like I've always liked the Dark Souls games, because the challenge that they presented, and the gameplay itself has always been interesting. All the different weapons they have, and how to counter, right? And how to use stuff. I mean, magic. I mean, it's got everything, in terms of a high fantasy type of feel to it. That's, in this case, is a cursed and kind of like deteriorating, from this beautiful world into something horrific that you're trying to restore or become something in. So a lot of fun, so much to explore. Their open world, I think they did a good job with it. My only complaint is that the multiplayer isn't more robust, I guess.
It's
Intuitive.
limited, right?
Yeah.
My understanding it's limited to certain areas. I mean, like once you're in.
Well, no, I mean you can pretty much go anywhere, but you can't use your horse so you can't like ride around together, which I thought would have been phenomenal. But I see why they limited it. Um, every time you bring someone in for like a particular fight or a boss fight, after you're done, they're gone. Um, so I mean it's limited, but I think for the game itself it works well. Um, but yeah, no, I've been thoroughly enjoying it, and George and I've been jumping in together a few times, getting murdered and so
We did a
forth.
boss fight. We were doing one boss fight, and I think we died like 7 times.
It took us about 7 or 8 times to get through it, but it's
Great
That's
moment. Great
but fun.
memory.
But satisfying when you do, because when you finally get it, it's just like, because you can do it. This is getting that momentum and rhythm and
Well, it's also kind of learning the pattern, right?
As tough as the game is, it doesn't try to cheat the player.
Right.
Like you could kind of see like the patterns, you could kind of see where you messed up and why you died, and then you try to correct it.
Mhm.
It doesn't feel like they try to cheese you.
Yeah. It rewards patience.
Yeah.
So if you're patient to
It's not a hack and slash Diablo 3 type of.
you can't just press buttons and get through with it.
You have to learn you have to learn combos and
A little bit of the combos and like timing, but then, it's satisfying when you do like you do a dodge and into a hit. It's a lot to it. So, and the weapons are hilariously fun. I mean, they have Guts' great sword basically, and it's
What is that? What is that? What is that?
from Berserk. I don't know
Oh,
if you've
really?
ever seen that anime Berserk.
In a manga, and he had like
Yeah.
this huge sword that's like maybe
Just a slab of metal,
It's like 2 feet thick.
like 8 feet tall and 2 feet thick. It's ridiculous, but so a lot of ridiculous fun weapons and
And there's like a weight to the weapons. It's a fun. It's like once you get.
Well, you have to
system
you have your stamina too, right? You have to be careful with your stamina and everything, right?
yeah,
and
wait.
the lore is great. The world building is like really fantastic.
Yeah, J.R.R. Martin.
But he didn't have that much to do with it, though. I don't think.
He had enough to do with it because it
Rubber
was funny.
stamp on
Someone
his
pointed out that like I think 4 of the bosses are his initials basically.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
You can blame the game on why the last 2 books of
Yeah, I
Song of
definitely would.
Ice and Fire series haven't come out yet.
No,
right?
I would thank the game actually that he hasn't.
Damn.
Yeah, no.
Nothing.
Artie, does it intrigue you in any way to play that?
Not one iota.
Not one iota.
Well, 12 million people. I mean, that's 12 million copies. That's a lot of copies, right?
It's surprising too. I didn't think that many people were.
Well, I mean,
masochistic.
the Souls games are really popular. I think the fact that this one is kind of an easier version, easy in terms of Souls, is
Right.
Well, because it doesn't let you get stuck, right? That's the whole thing. You can get around stuff and level up, and then
I
come
think that's
back
the
and
big
tackle it.
difference.
The Souls games were very linear. I think the fact that this is open world allows you to kind of navigate your way around things. So
Full disclosure, I'm playing it as well, and what I do realize is that the world is unforgiving, regardless if you decide, well, I'm not going to go here. I think I'll go explore. Chances of exploring what you discover is not very friendly. It's not friendly in any way. I mean, I've had water that's not friendly. I've had animals that are not friendly. It's just death is waiting for you constantly. That's the thing about the game. It's not like I just the game that I compare it to a little bit because of the open worldness and sort of the fantasy aspect is Skyrim, right? When you're playing like one of these games and you feel like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna if I fell too far, I lose some of my energy. This is that at any moment you're dead.
Oh yeah.
And then you have to, what happens, like, the other thing that is, it's sort of very Diablo-ish in the sense of, like, well, the old Souls games were similar, right? If you die, You lose your
You have to
runes,
get
you lose all these things. You have to go back to the place that you just got fucked in to go get all your shit.
Oh yeah.
Otherwise,
EverQuest had that shit.
Oh
it's
yes.
like,
The
so
only
it's
difference was EverQuest made you run naked. This one at least gives you your armor.
right. It's like, yeah, but everything you need to level up, you got to go back and get it.
What sums up the soul game, this game for me, and it's just kind of like it's like you kind of expect it, and it's like I'm at a castle, and there's like a fucking rickety ass walkway up the side of the castle, and I'm running. I'm like, wow, I could easily fall off, and I get jumped, and what happens? I start to roll, and I fell. And I'm like, fucking knew it. I knew exactly that was, because it's like narrow the walkway like this, and there would be somebody over there.
Oh yeah.
Hey, look.
And then I went back up there and I got my shit. It's fun. It's a fun game. Again, the lore is fantastic. Like all the weapons have a story attached to it, and gives you deeper meaning about the world. So,
Cool. So,
fun.
gentlemen, we're going to end on a positive note. Does anybody have any words of wisdom to our viewers before we go?
Pick up the Ghost album. You're not going to regret it.
That's
number
true.
2, right, on the Billboard charts.
Yeah, number 1 all across the world. Artie needs to pick up Meliora still. Artie, anything to say?
Nope. I think we're good.
All right, everybody. Keith,
Yeah. No,
go
that's
play
it.
Elden Ring.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Well, we should do a legendary psyop.
We shall. Maybe
All right,
right
let's
after
get that
this.
done.
Let's get it done.
All right, everybody. Thanks for
All
watching.
right, everybody. Like and subscribe. We love you guys. We'll see you next week. Take care. And next
Moon
week,
Knight.
Moon Knight. Lots of Moon Knight. Later.
Good night.